Hey guys, I'm Akash. This is my friend Atul. He has been my batchmate in Air Force Bal Bharti. He has done his bachelor's in psychology and master's in psychology from Ambedkar, then from Amity, and he has cleared his UGC NET exam. So Atul, you have done your research on infidelity in your dissertation. So let's keep that as our topic for today.
Sure.
So would you like to start by introducing the concept of infidelity, what it basically means?
So my research was on infidelity and romantic relationship in young adults. So my research primarily catered to young adults and what exactly comprises of relationship and what are the different types of infidelity and why do some people cheat and why do their partners forgive them for cheating. So first thing I want to explain here would be the topic of relationship. What comprises of a relationship. So relationship is like a union of two individuals who are in sync with each other physically, emotionally, and sometimes financially as well.
Right.
However, that differs as you grow.
Again, and is it necessary that it is monogamous all the time?
Usually it is monogamous.
Okay.
So usually the norm in our society is for monogamy only, right? Because it makes things easier.
Right.
And so as we move on, I focus on the topic of infidelity here. So why do some people cheat? What forces them to cheat? So for this, what I did in my research was to find what are different types of cheating. So what it boiled down to was emotional cheating and sexual cheating. So what sexual cheating here refers to would be acts of, sexual acts.
Physical pleasure.
Yeah, physical pleasure. Right. With another individual who is not part of a relationship. So a partner is kept in the dark. Right. While you try to engage with other individuals for sexual acts and sexual pleasures. But emotional infidelity, on the other hand, refers to, prioritizing another individual apart from a partner, spending more time with them, being in touch with them more emotionally, falling in love with them maybe. While when you talk about sexual infidelity, it's more of, a lust thing.
Right.
Emotional is more of a, the topic of love somewhere down the line, I would say. How do I explain to you? It creeps in.
Right.
Yeah, it creeps in. So yeah.
Right.
So these were the two types of infidelity that I found to be taking place. While men are able to forgive emotional infidelity and are not willing to forgive sexual infidelity. Women on the other hand are, more likely to forgive sexual infidelity and less likely to forgive emotional infidelity.
So why is that?
I think I didn't ponder much on that topic because it was out of the scope for my paper. So generally, when I was asking participants, men prioritize a lot more on sexual activity.
Okay.
When they are in touch with someone, when they are in relationship with another woman, sexual acts play a big role. While for women, emotional, being in a relationship, emotional aspects play a major role. That's why women look forward to introducing their partners to their family members, right. And showing them off on media, let's say social media, tagging them, and having those, I would say, good moments.
Right.
So these were the major things that I found.
So do you think evolution can have a part to play in this attraction towards the opposite sex sexually for men and emotionally for women?
Could be one thing, but I didn't focus that much on evolutionary psychology.
Okay, so do you think that a person only exclusively cheats sexually or emotionally, or it can also be inclusive of both aspects?
I think it could be inclusive of both aspects because it depends on the context and what the state of relationship is.
Right. Can you give an example, like a state of relationship where a person can go and cheat?
So the major factor that I found in my research was proximity. So oftentimes whenever you talk about relationship, it's always, love, a very abstract concept,
right.
Thinking of your partner all the time.
Right.
And, when you're sleeping, you're having dreams of them. And there is no mention of sex. There's hardly a mention of sex or lust here, right? Right. So the topic of sexual attraction is it's not much present when you talk about, a relationship or love. Okay. But it does play a major role.
Right.
So you will, like when your relationship, you do call the initial phase the honeymoon phase, right? Where all over your partner, right? But eventually it fades away. So as I would say, the proximity increases, an individual tries to find other individuals.
So proximity in the sense of distance or in the sense of emotional connectivity?
It could be both. Usually, what I would say sets the environment is the physical proximity. Okay. Let's say you're in Delhi and your partner is in Mumbai, right?
That's why long distance
usually, yeah. So let's say your partner is in Mumbai, right?
Right.
You can't meet them daily.
Right.
You can meet them, let's say, on special occasion. Could be a birthday, or it could be a holiday like
Any
Diwali,
occasion,
whenever
right.
they're in Delhi or whenever you go to Mumbai.
Right.
Other than that, they're not here.
Right.
You want to go out somewhere, you want to try new cafes, you want to, wear clothes and
It's
so on.
not just for sexual reasons.
And there are other reasons as well, right?
Right.
So while you're here, you meet other individuals, right?
Right.
Let's say a colleague of yours,
Right.
and suddenly she's there all the time while your partner isn't.
Yeah.
So you start, bonding with her more.
Right.
So the time which was already allotted to your girlfriend now moves on to this another individual who's the substitute, who slowly and I would say gradually replaces your girlfriend. So now you're emotionally investing in the person more than you were in your girlfriend, right? And as you're emotionally investing, you feel attracted towards her sexually, and one thing leads to another, and that sets the space for infidelity.
I think when you're in long distance, these things like WhatsApp and all, they are not even designed for having a real relationship.
I mean, it helps. I wouldn't say not designed, but I would say it helps, to convey the messages and all.
Right.
But physical touch is a major factor.
Yeah.
It's a major factor.
And even in emotional terms, I don't think it can properly convey.
Of course.
Fully, in like a human context, what it
Of course,
does.
like let's say you both live in the same city, you can meet.
Right.
But when you're like, there's a huge distance between you have to take out time.
Right.
Allocate special time for your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and that's how we divide your time. And let's say you both look forward to spending that time. Let's say after 10 o'clock, you both could talk to each other, right?
Right.
But that does not always pan out because as you grow up, you start working, right? So there's confusion there as well.
So can we talk about compensation after cheating? Do people compensate?
I think this idea of compensation is more apt for married men or married women who can afford to give their partner something, right?
Right. So is it necessary compensation is only in terms of monetary?
See, it could be sexual, right?
Right.
Doing a sexual act.
Right.
But obviously, having a space for yourself is one major thing.
Right.
Right. So oftentimes you need to take into account what the age of the individual is. So as you grow, you acquire some money. So if you're cheating and you feel guilty, you give your partner something of really
these big romantic gestures.
Yeah, big romantic gestures to compensate for your act. Yeah, this has been depicted in movies a lot of times.
Right.
I think, yeah.
And that sense of guilt doesn't it bother the individual that he's cheating as well and he's with the person that he supposedly loves, or at least he tells the other person that he loves them?
I think one thing we need to take into account is the act of cheating does not mean cessation of love. If the individual cheats on you, doesn't mean that he has stopped loving you, right? But the idea of love here would not be pure or impure. I don't know. It's different. It's debatable. It's open to interpretation. For best, a person can decide what's best for them, right? But obviously, there is guilt cheating on your partner. Some people find a way through, let's say you have cheated on your partner, and the next day your partner comes up with a really big gesture. She does something special for you while she has no idea what you have done you have done to her. So you do feel guilt for doing her wrong and doing wrong to her. Sorry. And this obviously eats you gradually, and your chest starts becoming more heavier. That's what one of my participants said. The heart becomes heavier as you meet your partner, and you think all the times you've cheated on your partner. So that is tough. There is guilt, obviously.
So why doesn't the person, if he cheats on the other person like sexually or especially emotionally, like if he falls in love with someone else, then why doesn't he leave the partner he's currently with?
So there are possible reasons to it. Mainly, first thing is security, right?
Right.
You already know this. You already know your partner for a long period of time. You're in a relationship. You know each other physically, emotionally, and to a large degree, you know each other likes and dislikes. This new partner that you're talking about, you're not sure. Yeah, it's still a space where you don't know your compatibility.
Yeah.
So that plays a role. So usually when people want to jump ship, they jump ship when they're completely sure that the other person is also ready for the relationship and is also, compatible with.
Right.
So that's when they do it.
Because they have already spent too much time with this person. They don't want to lose one bird and another bird at the same time.
Of course.
Okay. So, and what about the role of if there are children in a marriage? Does that have a factor to
I
play?
think marriage is a whole different issue. That's why I didn't focus on marriage much, because culture plays a major role.
Focus till what age?
18 to 25 mainly.
18 to
At this, at this age, there are a lot of temptations.
Yeah,
Not
there
that,
are.
not that, after
Yeah.
marriage, there won't be there
Yeah.
would be temptations and you
Yeah.
would acquire money. But at this age, you don't particularly have a lot of vast amount of money. You do have time, you don't have money, and there are temptations, right? And then there is thing also, you want to experiment, you want to
Right.
see what's
Of course, fear of missing out.
there. Yeah, fear of missing out. You want to see what other bodies are like,
Right.
right? You want to try out something different.
Maybe the other person would
Offer
get
some,
you
yeah, get me, or offer something
emotionally
different.
or
Yeah,
sexually.
could
Yeah.
be.
So 18 to 25 is also an age for curiosity.
Yeah, it is.
So what does it feel like? Is there like a different level of guilt in every other person?
I think it again differs. My research was qualitative in nature.
Okay.
So the first group had 10 participants who had cheated in the relationship, right?
Right.
7 of them said, they were completely responsible. Like they don't blame their partner. The rest 3 said, sorry, 6 of them said they are completely responsible. The remaining 4 said, their partner was somewhere at fault.
Okay.
She was not reciprocating enough. She was absent all the time. We were constantly fighting. And then this new person came in. So these were, so guilt in this sense, there would be guilt, but then blame is a whole different thing, right? So let's say not everyone would be able to take responsibility for their actions. They would say, I'm not completely responsible for my actions. To some part I was, but I would say my partner pushed me.
Right.
That's why I cheated. Yeah.
So if the partner is loves you a lot, but is not ready to have an intimate relationship with you, physically, because maybe she's not of that age yet, or she's not comfortable yet. So can that be the reason?
Of course. Like I said, when we talk about love is obviously it's an abstract concept, right? We can break it down to biological thing of oxytocin and whatnot, but the major thing is there has to be something physical. When you talk about a normal relationship, you need to touch your partner, right? You want to know, you want to be, you want to be feel wanted, like you want to be feel touched by your partner, you want to open to each other sexually. So that does play a role.
And before you said you can love more than one person at a time.
I'm not sure. I mean, you can't say you can love more than one person. I mean, again,
you can be emotionally attached
to more than one.
Okay. And what if you are sexually attached to one person whom you are in a relationship with, but you are not emotionally attached? So will you call it love?
No, then usually, this borders around the area of lust,
Yeah.
You feel,
so
let's say, physically.
Will it be called cheating then?
Of course, it would be, right?
Because there are boundaries.
There are boundaries
that
right?
have been established.
Yeah. Like the basic boundaries, like, let's say you and I are dating, and there are basic boundaries, like you don't flirt with anyone.
Right.
You don't flirt with any men or women outside this relationship, right?
Right.
I would like to be feel like a priority. Like you would tell me your things, I would tell you your things, and we would support each other, right? So once you cross that boundary, it's an abstract boundary again, right? You start spending time with some other women or men in this case, right? You start thinking about them a lot more than you think about me.
Yeah.
You feel sexually attracted towards them, and that's why you deliberately create scenarios where you both are alone, right? Let's say taking them out to movies or a romantic dinner, inviting them to your place while no one else is there. So these are things which you're breaking the boundaries, right? So that would definitely I would say I would label it as cheating in my research. I mean, again, it's open to interpretation to people, because relationship is something like two individuals create their own. No two relationships are alike, right? There's a lot of idiosyncrasies playing a role here, and also adjustment things happening. So every relationship is different, but some basic norms are laid out by the society and the culture. So I think that is always kept in mind.
So if one person is currently cheating on their partner, and they just found out that their partner is also cheating on them, so what will be their reaction? Will it be of hypocrisy or more of understanding?
I mean, I'm not sure. I've never encountered such people, but like whenever we joke about such things in online forums like Facebook, Instagram, we call it Uno reverse thing, right? You're cheating on your partner, and then you found out, oh, your partner is also cheating on you.
Yeah.
So that's obviously would sound strange. Yeah.
But it will take a toll on you.
It will take a toll on, no doubt. So you didn't expect.
Yeah, because your boundaries were
Yeah.
also crossed. Okay, so we are also conditioned in movies and all by these like garam masala and no entry, that it is okay, it normalizes cheating, right?
I mean, more than garam masala, more than normalizing, I think it wanted to show that idea of thrill there, right?
The thrill, the excitement.
Yeah, excitement. Oh, he can have 3 girlfriends at once.
Yeah.
Like,
and the forgiveness that the partner gives them.
Actually, 3 girlfriends, and he was engaged to one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you see that movie, it's not about normalizing cheating. I think it was more about seeing the thrill there is, right? So he would note down the timing of all his girlfriends, right? Oh, ye abhi 6 baje aayegi aur dusri wale 8 baje land karegi. So these things were taking place. So when you watch the movie, you are more thrilled to see, oh, what happens now?
Right.
Is he caught? And in this fabrication of relationships and whatnot, his housemate was also a part of it, right? And then this other friend of his who came to live in with him also got to know that he's having 3 girlfriends on the side and 1 fiance. And in the end, yeah, like you see, cheating is not a deal breaker for many people. So when I started the relationship, and like this idea was like way back when I was in 12th.
Right.
So what breaks a relationship? So back then I thought, okay, if the person cheats on you, that's it, that's the end. But that's not the case.
Why isn't it so?
So like in my research, I divided people into 3 groups: people who cheat, people who are cheated upon, and who don't forgive their partners; people who are cheated upon and they do forgive their partners. So people who do forgive their partner think about it as a mistake. Okay, it was temptation, right? It's like, think of the devil. Right. Something really tempting comes in and you want to take. Circumstantial things happen. So they cheated on you, it's fine, maybe we can work things out. So this idea, let's have a fresh start. Like I said, let's take an example. You're dating someone and that person cheats on you. Or you cheat on them. You don't want to lose this person. She's a gem or he's a gem. So what you try to do is, I'm really sorry. Let's have a fresh start. Let's begin from the scratch. So what he or she is implying is that, forget all the bad things that I've done. Trust me again.
Right.
And this person who has been cheated on, she's angry at you. She's really angry at you. There's frustration, there is resentment. But at the same time, she's not, he or she is not emotionally.
Looking at the red flags.
Yeah, he or she is not emotionally that strong to leave you. Right? Because there's this clingy behavior that comes in, what will I do without you? Yeah. He or she's only understand me, only they can understand me. I can't have someone else. Because having another relationship is a long process, right? You get to know the person's like, dislikes, compatibility. So you're like, okay, maybe, this is a one-time thing. Maybe we can work this thing out. We can have something from the beginning. So
do you think the relationship becomes toxic after they have been caught cheating?
So the way I understand toxic would be, manipulating.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think it's you can understand
if it was a mistake.
But then if it was a mistake, you also need to remember the thing. Now the person would be extra careful.
Exactly. The trust.
So the trust breaks.
Yeah.
It is bound to be broken, right? Yeah. And the individual who has been cheated upon is more apprehensive than ever, right? Now the individual would keep track of every single moment of yours. So one of my participants went to extremes. He or she was like, turn on your notification all the time. I want to know your location, where you are, why are you spending time here, share your password with me. When you come to meet me, show me your gallery. I want to see your chat. And let's say you're talking to someone, right? You're talking to a friend, and a very normal compliment like you're pretty.
Yeah.
Is read
which
way
something
out of,
normally happens.
Something normally happens. Is read or interpreted way out of proportion.
Right.
Oh, you're cheating on me again.
Right.
You're doing this again.
Right.
So the individual has to keep in mind, are you able to take that toll again? Are you sure you can trust that person again? So that's a major thing that needs to be, kept in mind.
So don't you think this paranoia corrupts the relationship in a sense?
The thing is, I would like to label it paranoia. It's something that I would call it apprehension would be the right word, So
it's a justified apprehension.
it's a justified apprehension, of course, but obviously crosses boundaries.
Yeah.
Because then your entire day goes back, oh, is he cheating or is he or she cheating on me again?
And that, funnily enough, pushes the person to
Yeah,
cheat again.
it
Because
becomes
she's on my head all the time.
on my head. She wants to know everything. So
Yeah.
we, like in a relationship, you two are together, right?
Yeah.
You two lose yourself in a, let's say, in a very romantic or in a poetic manner. You both lose yourself. At the same time, there are boundaries.
Right, of course.
Say, I like to watch sports. You like to do your thing. I like to eat chicken. You eat vegetarian. You do whatever you want. I like to spend time with my friends. You like to spend time with your friends. But now everything has to be, under surveillance.
Right.
What do you talk about? Oh, is there a new female colleague? Is there a new male colleague there?
Right.
Oh, you're sharing laughters now. Why is he joking so much?
Right.
Why is she joking so much? These things do take place, and now this constant bickering pushes you. It makes you frustrated and resentful at the same time. Like, get off my back. It's like, give me some space. But the person wouldn't let you have that space because he or she knows the moment you take space, you are bound to cheat again.
No. So, is there also this one thing that a person who has an intuition that the partner is cheating, but if they find out, they will obviously be devastated. So they try to live in ignorance.
First, it's a tough thing,
Like they spotted a second cell phone and.
So I mean, people. Let's say, let's understand this way.
Yeah.
A relationship is something like very deep, right? You are putting this person above your other friends.
Right.
You are special towards this person, right? Emotionally and physically.
You put them on a pedestal.
You do put them on a pedestal. Right. It's not a bad thing because you do treat them differently from your friends, right? You spend time with them in a different manner. You are romantic to them, which you are not towards your friend.
Right.
And there's a lot of emotional investment, right? You do share your household secrets. So now if you do see your partner crossing that boundary, it's gonna break your heart.
Right.
It's not a pretty sight to be in, not a pretty place to be in. So you try to ignore signs, at the same time you're curious. Oh, should I be trusting that person so much?
It's a tough spot.
It's a tough spot.
So there are two things, like you can be in ignorance, and there is also one thing that you come to the knowledge, but are you going to confront them or not?
Yeah, I mean, that's the major thing, confronting your partner for infidelity. I think before confronting, you would be frustrated and angry.
Right. You will imply that where were you and things like that.
I think a lot of and the people I was interviewing, they knew their partner was cheating, but they had to be concrete. They need to have concrete evidence before confronting their partner. You can't have a shot in the dark. Right. So it took them a week or two or a month or two. They would compile evidence after evidence like a detective. And once everything, the puzzle made sense, they would have them, red-handed, catch them red-handed, put the evidence right in front of them and ask them, explain this to me. And the person can't, obviously, once they are caught, how he or she is able to fabricate another story is beyond comprehension to anyone. So these things happen. So before confronting a partner, you have to get in touch with this rational side of yours. You want to confront your partner, but how do you do that?
Right.
You need to be sure. Right.
So does the partner is more forgiving if the person comes and confesses themselves that I have cheated, I have made a mistake, or if they find out? So
to be honest, I don't know. My research didn't go that far, and I can't generalize here. I mean, differs from person to person on different personality factors, of course. So I'm not sure how this would plan out, because the participants that I took in my study, most of them were caught. Because confessing is a big danger, right? You don't know. It's something, it's as scary as confessing to your parent, oh, you know what, I scored really bad in that math exam.
Most of the time you want to confess just to make yourself feel guilty.
Yeah, of course. You can't be happy with your partner thinking about it all the time. Every cheated on them, right?
Something wrong.
Imagine having a romantic dinner with a partner and the idea of having, let's say, a sexual act or emotionally connected with someone is going at the back of your head. It's not a pretty sight.
Maybe you want to break with that other person, the relationship, and you want to tell your partner so that it can be easier to break.
It could be.
Or to decide at least.
Now, because now you're at the mercy of your partner. your partner could either leave you.
Which is a very vulnerable spot.
Yeah, it's a very vulnerable spot, and the chances are very likely that partner would leave you. Like I said, men. In my research, when I was conducting, my one of my form in my research was, what's your gender, what's your sexual orientation, and what are you more likely to forgive? Emotional cheating or sexual cheating? There was no option of both. I just wanted to know, pick your poison, right? Men are more likely to forgive emotional cheating, right? Because they don't, I would say, even if I think for myself, right? These things happen, she can,
Right.
she can feel, let's say, more secure with another man. But once I'm back, I can woo her again. Women, on the other hand, can't understand this. For them, it's like sexual cheating can happen, but emotional cheating, not sure. I'm not ready to forgive that. So these things do play a role here.
Yeah. And what if a person has a troubled past, like they have been cheated on a lot, but with this partner, everything is going great. But that paranoia is there, so they constantly trouble their partner.
Yes, obviously, your past relationship do play a major role, right? Like Erickson also, he stated that one of our stages is intimacy versus isolation. We want a healthy relationship. We want someone to be with us.
But we don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah, we don't want to be vulnerable. Right. We don't want someone to break our trust.
Yeah.
And someone who has been cheated on multiple times is scared to jump into a relationship.
And what about someone who has actually cheated? Are they also scared to be cheated?
Of course they are. They do know.
Because they think that
same thing can happen to them.
Yeah, because things like these happen.
And they are, they are more vigilant towards sign, whatever they did.
So these movies and all that, I won't say glorify, but even depict cheating, that actually shows you a new reality that maybe traditional household people may not be aware of, that cheating happens. Like in the past, that women who used to be in the household working, they may not be even guessing in their wildest dreams that their partners may have been cheating.
So, the thing is, it's a really uncomfortable thing, to imagine your father cheating, right?
Yeah.
Because you expect your family to be stable somewhere down the line, despite the fights and all, despite everything. You want your family to be stable. Stable in the sense, there is a loving relationship between all of them, right? And just imagining your parents cheating on each other destabilizes the entire family, right? What to do now? How do you plan on living with the same individual, right? So that's it. I think marriage is a whole different
concept, because then there are many factors.
There are many factors. The family comes in, right? Your in-laws come in, your brothers and sister comes in, your brother-in-law, sister, everyone comes in.
And it's a higher level of commitment as well. So like you can't just break it.
Yeah.
Like
who's going to take care of the kids?
Yeah.
What about finances?
Also come,
What about finances?
Right.
And what about the property? Property is a major thing. How do you plan to live in under one roof with the person who has cheated on you?
And the stigma of being divorced.
There is, right?
Yeah, because breakups can happen in youth.
That's why our understanding or the research that I was focusing was primarily on young adults, because the way we understand relationship is not something as significant as marriage, right? If you want the relationship maybe to blossom into a marriage, it is a possibility, right? But being married to someone then breaking the relationship is a whole different thing.
So isn't it more forgiving, like, and not justifiable, but more forgiving, like a person is cheating while in a normal relation, not in a marriage, than while in a marriage?
Look at it in this way. If he or she is cheating on you, why would you forgive that person, right? You can obviously go out and date someone else, right? Or maybe you can forgive them thinking, oh, it's one-time thing.
But the person doesn't just.
How do you make sure? How do you make sure that person has done this to you only for once? Wouldn't do it again. How do you make sure? Trust that has been broken.
That can never be repaired.
It cannot. I don't think it can be repaired. It's a bold statement from my side, but it's tough to repair something as core as trust.
Trust is a very abstract concept.
Yeah, it is. Because trust is like, I give you a word, I say something and you believe in me because you trust me. Right? Let's say I tell you that I would never cheat on you, I love you that much. And you believe me. At the same time, you're sleeping peacefully. You're, even if I'm away from you, you can function throughout your day, do whatever you want, not care about what I may be doing. Right? So these things do help the relationship.
I think some level of insecurity always remains, even if the person has not, they have not cheated on each other, or there is no history before.
Then I think it boils down to personality factors, I would say.
Okay, so person is secure with themselves. So
Yeah, obviously, they believe they're secure with themselves emotionally and sexually at the same time. That the person's also satisfied, right? And you're able to understand each other. So compatibility here plays a major role. If you're not compatible, you would be insecure.
Right.
She can find, or he can find someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you think that if a person spends more time with their own partner, it is less likely that they will cheat on others, or it is something that is related to their own core personality trait?
See, the funny thing is, in my research, I wanted to find the personality factors. What is the correlation between people? What are the factors? What are the personality traits which people who cheat have? I found like no correlation, right, between those factors of neophy.
So isn't there a correlation between people who are successful, maybe in academics or CEOs?
Not necessarily.
It's not more likely that they will cheat.
No, something, you can see that people, once they're successful, they have more money,
more resources,
and they meet a wide variety of people, right? You meet more attractive people.
That does not mean that people from lower income does not have the temptation.
Yeah, I think both have temptation. It's about your impulse control. It's about how much you value relationship at that point, and are you ready or not to jeopardize it or not, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, you need to have some kind of financial, backup to pursue another individual. How would you, without money, how would you woo the other person, right?
And what if the marriage falls apart right now? Okay. So I've read in research that people who are in position of power are like sex addicts. Like they're more tend to be addicted towards sex because they have higher level of serotonin in their brain, and they think of themselves as alphas, and they want to take up all the mates that are in their tribe.
I think that's what monogamy comes from, right? Because kings could have all the women.
Exactly.
Right. Then what would happen to the normal population? Right. This was also Jordan Peterson said in a podcast.
Yeah.
What would happen if the king or the superior man would take all the women? How would the peasants or the working class would compete to someone as powerful as the king? So having power, you can view it in this way. Having power means more resources, more power. You can pursue those love interests, or
they will also be
attracted to you. Because now you're not sitting in a dingy cafe.
Right.
You're sitting at a 5-star restaurant, right? You're now you're not traveling in a metro. Now you're traveling in your luxury car. You have the petrol. You have a driver. You can go to places. You are open to more areas which were not earlier. Right. And through this, you are open to more people. People who are more sexually promiscuous, who are ready to try more things, right? People who are more compatible to you, maybe.
Who may want to boost up their career.
Of course, it's a possible thing. Maybe career, maybe you see there's an emotional connection between both of you.
Spending more time.
Special interest. So that does.
So if a person is in a happy relationship, but they are tempted to cheat, so is there something wrong with the relationship, or it's just a normal fantasy?
I think, have you seen Modern Family? So in Modern Family, I think in episode 2, the protagonist, I think Phil, says that, he finds a really attractive woman down the street. And she's really attractive, And then towards her, and then he faces the camera and he says, am I attracted to her? Yes. But am I going to act on it? No. So he is in a good relationship. He does get attracted towards the other woman, but he is not acting on it.
Because attraction is not a switch, right? Being attracted to
attraction happens, very naturally. Everyone has their type, right? You do, let's say, you do like men or women of a particular type. Some women may like bulky men or lean or skinny. Some men would like, curvy and whatnot. So attraction again differs. You meet someone that matches your attraction, checklist, and you find her attractive. But are you going to act on it? Are you going to go out of the way to woo her? That is the major thing.
So if the partner confesses just that they are attracted to this person, not acting on it, just attracted. So
people don't have that conversation. It's an awkward conversation.
I've heard a lot of my friends say that their partners have told them that they're feeling this emotional attraction towards the other person.
Again, but how would you react then? That's the question, right?
Yeah, that is my question.
Yeah, I mean, how would you react if your partner comes up to you and say, "Oh, I found this guy, and he's really..."
The partner jumps onto the conclusion that they will leave me because
Yeah, of
they're
course.
attracted.
Let's say you're dating someone, and your partner comes and is like, "Oh, look, have you seen that guy? He has 6 packs, and he's really muscular, he's whatnot." And on the other end, you don't have such of a great body.
But then women and men both have crushes on celebrity as well. They're attracted to them.
They are, but that's the
they
thing.
Can't get them. Right?
Yeah, of course. It's not someone
right.
You can DM, right?
Yeah.
You can slide into their DMs. But if I tell you, oh, let's say we both are dating.
Yeah.
And
don't take personal example.
Yeah. So yeah, if I say that, this person in the batch of ours is attractive, or you would feel threatened.
Okay, I know this is not in your research, but like if two people have marriage, like it's an arranged marriage, like they were compelled by their parents and whatnot, so they can't be happy together.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to channel their love or sexual energy someplace. So is it more likely that they will cheat?
Then I think if they both are not attracted to each other, they offer something more easy for them. That is an open relationship, an open marriage. While the base is that they are emotionally together, but sexually they have
open relationship is altogether different thing.
Yeah,
I don't think then cheating comes into.
Yeah, cheating is not a part of it. Cheating is strictly monogamous, because you would have.
But for everyone, the definition of monogamy is a little different.
It is. I think monogamy means mono means what? One.
Yeah, no, but in the sense for two couple in what is that? One couple.
Yeah, one couple.
One couple are in a relationship. So the girl hugs her friend who's a guy. So one person may be all right with it. One person maybe.
And that's a whole different thing. That hugging and all is normal, right?
It is normal for one person, but the other person may not find it normal.
But then that's a difference of opinion, right?
Yeah.
So depends on what you find normal.
That's what I'm asking. Do different people have different definitions of their boundaries?
Yeah, that is a question of more of boundaries, not a monogamy. What is, like I said, when you are in a relationship, there are certain paths. Hugging is usually be considered as normal, right?
Right.
Hugging is normal, right? Yeah. But spending a night with another person, not normal. Right. There's a huge difference between the two, right? Let's say meeting your friend for lunch, normal, right? Meeting your friend for dinner every single day, spending more time with him or her, not normal. There are boundaries.
But that still depends on the terms that the partners come.
Yeah, that's you. When you're in a relationship, you do talk about boundaries.
Yeah. You
do check in with your partner. I'm going with this friend of mine. I hope that's fine with you, right? Or this is what
I'm sleeping with them. I hope that's fine.
That's a different thing.
Okay. So, any insight that you have come from your research?
I mean, there are a lot of mainly was that fresh start. People opt for a fresh start, and it's not easy for them.
There's no such thing as fresh start after.
Of course.
I think of trust as a tissue. Once it has been broken, it cannot be
once it's dirty, it's dirty.
Yeah.
How would you clean it?
Yeah.
So it's when these individuals opt for a fresh start, how do you forgive them? And if you do forgive them, how do you trust them again? Even if you do trust them again, how are you sure that they would do the same thing again or not? Are you ready to have that emotional turmoil, go through the emotional turmoil again?
Yeah.
Because that's not an easy thing, It's like investing a lot of money into a stock, hoping it would skyrocket, but it plummets. Like, nahi, main aur paisa dalunga, and it drops down again. So it's, imagine as we all have an emotional reservoir. We can't keep on spending emotional energy onto someone who's unable to reciprocate it, unable to respect it.
So what about abandonment issues?
People ask, it's a whole different thing of abandonment. When people don't enter a relationship, they're scared. So before they think that now that I'm in a relationship, before he or she dumps me, I'll dump them. So here the individual is dumping them, not cheating on them, right?
So can this also come into play that they have abandonment issues? So they want to feel secure. At the same time, they enter into another relation with another.
How would that make sense then?
Because
If you have abandonment issue, why are you having multiple relationships?
so that don't put all your eggs in one basket.
But then that's the thing, right? This is not, relationship is not something, the way you're objectifying it's not something that to be objectified.
Yeah.
It's an emotional connection as well as physical. So what do you mean by eggs here?
No, I'm just giving an example.
So let's say you are having a relationship and then you're having someone else on the side.
Yeah.
Then how are you going to manage it?
I'm talking about
Excuse me.
I'm talking about what if someone has abandonment issues. So what is their line of thinking
To be honest,
coming to a relationship?
like I said earlier,
Instead of dumping, are there alternatives that they can do or they do?
there are multiple possibilities. I think there are like multiple billions of possibilities. Like, there's a probability of every single thing happening. But to say that this generally happens, I can't say that. Again, it depends on the individual, the context of the relationship,
Their
and
personality.
their personalities also. These things do come into play.
And what if their parents have been in extramarital affairs or something? Does it rub off on the children?
I mean, that's an interesting topic. How would you react if your parents were in extramarital relationship?
I mean, if your father or mother is smoking, are you more likely to smoke? I mean,
the chances are, yes, research indicates more, right?
Yeah.
You learn from them.
Yeah. So
But
this modeling, does that also?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because let's say to some extent families do allow their parents, mother and father, to have a drink once in a while, have a smoke once in a while, right? Occasionally, you also would find your father or your mother having a drink here and there or having a smoke, right? And somewhere they do have smoke or drink with their kids. But on the topic of cheating, it's like the house breaks down.
In their formative years, if they find out, like they confront their father or mother cheating, do they suffer from cognitive distortion, like their whole viewpoint of a relationship is warped, like maybe monogamy is having multiple women at once, or it's fine to have someone on the side? Because
I think that's a good question. I think it depends, how like it said, whose side you are taking as a kid. Because I don't think kids confront their parents, more like they're seeing what's happening.
they model.
They're modeling. They're seeing the fights.
Yeah.
Right. Where one parent is demanding answer, other is unable to provide answers. So what happens here is, so obviously you wouldn't want a relationship like that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want this thing happening with you in future, 20 years in future. So most logically you would try to stay away from it, but then you would also be afraid.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. You would also be afraid that, this thing can also happen to you. So, yeah.
I think let's finish it here. It was pretty good.
I think we had an extensive debate.
Yeah. So, all the best to you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.